are live, episode 73. I am your co-host Pisky, and I am joined, as always, by the very well-dressed Godfather. What's going on, Godfather? We're back.
Same.
3 in a row. We're on a roll here.
Can't believe it. 3 in a row. Fuck.
I know.
I thought I would have dropped out by now.
I know. I didn't think we'd make it 73 goddamn episodes. Are you kidding me? When I tell people I have a podcast, they're like, you have a podcast? I don't like to scream. I mean, people on my hockey team are telling me, you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah. Have you not seen the name of the fucking team? Always Betting Podcast. That's the name of our hockey team. But yeah, people say you have a podcast, and they're like, "Oh, cool!" And everyone expects, to be in episode 14, and I'm like, "No, we're into our 70s now." And they're like, "What? How long have you been doing this thing for?" I'm like, "Fucking like almost 3 years now, right?" Season 1 was when we were going after the Lottery Corp, right? You were not you I guess showed up as a guest on a couple episodes, right? And season 2 was myself in Vegas when we were doing the Vegas thing last season, and all the changes that we had here, and now finally this one where the Godfather and I are still always betting. Like we had to take a big break because we wanted to make sure that we were always betting to do a podcast called Always Betting, and we are, and yeah, things are going interestingly because we have that thing going on that, like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail because it's not my business. We've been given an opportunity.
It's a project.
And it's a project. Are you a project guy or a project? You sound like a project. Like you would be that guy to pronounce the extra O. Is that your style?
Let's go. Let's go. 1 hour.
1 hour. I know 1 hour. And yes, but the first thing, Godfather, that we have on our list here to talk about is you keep giving me shit about these middles that I keep playing. I'm a big middler, I'm a big arbitrager. Everybody knows that. Pisky doesn't stay long on games. It stresses him out. Turns his hair more white than it already is. Why does it piss you off? When I'm long on a game, yes.
What can be more stressful than these middles that you've had me tracking? What can be more stressful about that? You play 2 units and try to hit one number, 2 numbers. Oh, this game we got 3 numbers. 17, 18, 19 would be nice. And then a useless free throw or a field goal with 3 seconds to go on the first half clock goes through. And then I'm trying to figure it out. I'm not good with the math with this new shit. And I'm like, okay. So, okay, win here, lose there. We're losing a lot of juice. We're losing a lot of juice.
I'm a loser. Yeah, but everything's in the green at the end of the week, is it not?
Keep those envelopes coming.
That's the thing.
It's not something I grew up betting, obviously. I'm not trying.
Dude,
I'm not. But you and these middles, I keep getting these things, 4, 5, and 6 would be nice.
4, 5, and 6 is, well, I mean, 4 is a good number. I like 4. 17, 13, 14, 10. But here's the thing.
You hit a 29 and all of a sudden that's all we're doing, middles.
Dude, it works. You just got to be super patient with it, and you got to give yourself key numbers. When you're middling first halves in football, and I'm kind of learning this on the fly because I was always a big basketball bettor. Middler, sorry. But the football ones, like if you're giving yourself key numbers, a 30, a 31, a 24 in football, and I do them in the first half because, hello, it's only half the game. There's no anything can happen in the duration of a game. But if you shorten it to a first half, middling the first quarters would probably even be better. I just don't think you could get whole numbers. You'd get a half number, so over a 7, under a 7.5 type of thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Am I talking crazy?
No.
You're looking at me as if I'm crazy.
No. I know you're crazy, but anyway, maybe for some of our newer listeners, Because if I try to explain a middle,
Viewers,
okay, if I try to do that, people no understando, and people always give me the big eyes, and you did what? You what? So I don't know. Maybe explain a middle.
a middle is just you're hoping that a game lands on the exact number. So, for example, in a football game, a lot of times in the first half, you'll be able to pick up, you'll be able to play the favorite -3.5, and you'll be able to play the underdog +4.5. So if it lands on 4, you win your -3.5 bet, and you also win your +4.5 bet. If it doesn't land 4, you collect from one sportsbook, and you pay the other sportsbook, minus the juice. So yes, does the juice add up? Yes. Can you be laying -120s all the time? Fuck no. Right? You got to keep it short. So that's why some of these reduced juice books that you can find, low vig, and I think there's a lot of like private books out there, the credit books, that let you lay -105. That is huge for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're only losing 50% of the juice. And does the juice add up, Godfather?
Fucking juice adds up.
Did you dress up just for the podcast? Like, again, I see that there's a lot more people.
I got things to do. I just don't stick around. I just don't hang around the house waiting for a podcast to happen. I got things to do.
Podcasts and bets to come in on your cell phone.
Yeah, well, I'm a recreational. Go.
So yes, I don't know. I love middling. I really do.
I know.
Do I have it perfected? Absolutely not. I know there's certain numbers that you probably shouldn't be playing that I'm probably playing. There's probably a certain amount of juice that you shouldn't be laying that I'm laying. But sometimes I get bored, and that's the way I like to bet on games. It's simple as that. If I don't have nothing going on a Monday night or something like that, and I don't know, I can get a cheap -6.5 on the game and a cheap +7 on the game, I'm going for it. And that's just the way I like to bet on things. And for me, it's profitable. But you got to have extraordinary discipline to play this game, because you lose majority of the time, and you got to keep going after it. That's just the way it is, right? So, anyways, it's not for everyone, but I've been talking about it a lot lately, especially online on TikTok and stuff, and people are like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this arbitrage shit? So, I don't know. Keep listening, and I think we'll all learn together, and I'll get better at it, and I'm happy to share, because anyone can do this, to be honest.
I'm gonna pay attention to the basketball, because that first one that you played opening night.
Oh man!
Even I looked at it on paper and I said, okay, this one seems to make sense.
Well,
you had 3 solid numbers.
Yeah.
Right. The disparity between the 2 bets was, and we got.
No, and we got screwed. Yeah. So, no, I'll tell everyone what happened, because I was talking about it with all the boys at hockey, and they couldn't believe it, because they're like, how much do you bet on a game, Pisk? And I'm like, I don't know, $500, $1,000. But I said, but it's not even really that. Like, especially when I'm middling. When I'm middling, theoretically, the risk is like between $100 and $150, right? If you're betting dimes, because you're going to lose the juice. So I'm not, it might say 1,000 or 2,000 on the screen, but I'm actually only losing $100 because I'm playing the other side somewhere else, type of thing, right? But yes, the NBA one opening night, I saw a great middle opportunity, live betting. I think it was the Denver Nuggets and the Lakers. So I went Denver -8.5 and the Lakers +11.5, and spectacular. Anytime you can get something like that, I highly suggest that you take it.
9, 10,
10, and 11. Yeah, and I fucking loaded both sides, and it was great. And then, the Lakers lost by 12. So, very
free throw in the last dying seconds.
I know. It's a tough pill to swallow, and like I said, when we used to do this back in the day, the Full Dog and I, we wouldn't stop every fucking game, every fucking night. I mean,
what kind of life is that?
You're making money, bro. If the opportunities are there, you know what I mean? Because you can get yourself into trouble with this shit if you stay long on games, or you're trying to cheat, like, let me play something and sit back and hope someone scores a basket. I don't recommend doing like that. I don't even recommend playing in play. Commercial breaks, if you see discrepancies, that's when you got to attack the middles. That's how I do it. I don't know.
Don't get.
Anyways,
let's go.
Let's go. Anyways, that's our little topic of middles. I hope everyone enjoyed that. Godfather, every episode we've been talking about the sports books that we're playing with here in Ontario. We are determined to try every single book. I think, again, I never get the number right because it's constantly changing and some are dropping out, some are coming in, but I think it's in the high 20s. I think the number is 28, 29 different operators here in Ontario. We're making our rounds. I signed up to FanDuel for the first time in my life. I think I might have played some daily fantasy there back in the day when they were first starting to come onto the scene. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we did it
at the OLG.
Yeah, remember you would challenge me. My team is better than your team. You know, the usual.
Yeah, because we don't have a big enough rivalry in year-long fantasy. We need to get the daily shit going too, right?
Of course.
So yeah, I signed up to FanDuel, and we'll get to that in a second. Let's start. Yeah. This episode is going to be TonyBet is terrible. I'm pretty sure that's what the title is going to be. I always name it after we're done recording, but
it is terrible.
I will let you, because you got the stats. I know you signed up there. I did not. I have not been in there yet, but I was in TonyBet when they were a gray market team. So I kind of knew from my past experience of being in TonyBet that you were going to be in for it, and
you didn't fucking say anything.
I thought maybe regulated environment. They change a little bit. A lot of people say that some of these places change a bit. Betway, a lot of people online are saying Betway's good now. I don't believe that. I think that's fake news. But a lot of people are saying this. So I thought that maybe there's a chance that TonyBet is an actual sportsbook now, but they're not.
No.
So,
it's
Godfather, tell us what happened. What happened?
It's infuriating because when I signed up, the interface of the site, of the book, is actually quite nice.
Yeah,
and for an old man like me, trying to search up names and shit, like, it had very smooth operating system for me. So I started off with, I think this is good. Well, I only lasted 14 bets there. 14. That's it.
So they beat Play Fallsview. Play Fallsview was the first book that we did in our first episode coming back, and I lasted 20 bets there before the cuffs came on.
14. And
that's disgusting.
The last couple were like forced bets, like
W40s.
W40s. I started getting R7s, $7 risk bets. I don't know what.
Oh, yeah.
I am definitely in the wrong place if this is going to start happening. Okay, now they were obscure markets. I give you a chance. But when you're giving me $24 on an NFL halftime, no.
That's fucking brutal. First half or second half?
First half.
First half. $24 max win.
Yeah. Max win.
On an NFL game.
On an NFL game. What are we doing?
In a North American market. It's not like you're playing. It's not like you're playing at a. It's not like you're playing at a sports book in Estonia.
No.
Right?
Okay. So I like it terrible. My record at this freaking place. Get this. I don't even want to say it, but I'm going to say it. 7, 6, and 1 push. 7,
Come
6,
on.
and 1 push. I made a total of, hush bet, $209. I lasted 2 weeks. And now I said, give me my money. And they fucking...
Oh, you sent me this. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. And they KYC my ass. We need proof of residency. We need a picture with your address and a utility bill. And we need proof. No, this is the one that really pissed me off. We need proof of your deposit from your banking institution.
You forwarded me the email, Godfather, and that's where I thought they took a step too far, because the ID showing 4 corners, standard across the board.
Okay,
utility,
no problem.
The front page of a utility bill with the logo showing the 4 corners, standard. Where I don't like, where I think it gets way too invasive is when they start fucking around with the bank statements. Mandatory bank statements, not cool. So when they're asking you for, I guess they're asking you for the deposit, right? That came out of your bank. Yeah. That's ridiculous. I don't like when they fuck with banks.
Has that. Their system has that.
Dude, it's a stall tactic. It's 100% a stall tactic.
Yeah, well.
So.
Yeah, I will comply, and I want my money back because I'm not keeping dead money in an account that I'm not a large bettor. I'm a recreational bettor, and you're gonna W24 R7 me? What are you crazy? Give me my out.
So for people brutally confused right now, The Godfather and I are texting back and forth, dealing with this betting shit all day long. So W means to win, right? So I can get, what can you get on this bet? W40. That means you can win $40 max. R means risk, right? So if you're playing an underdog, we're always talking R. When you're playing a favorite, you're talking W. All right, to make sense. I bet people are still confused. Like, what the fuck is he saying right now?
Like, if I'm stupid enough to be playing a plus 400, and you want to give me $7, come on.
No, dude, that's ridiculous. And I want to go back to this document shit like that. I had a problem back when 5 Dimes, there's something went on there. Are they available in the Ontario market right now? Does anyone know? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because I've already been fake news twice by them saying they're going down, they're gone, it's over, and then I keep seeing them on Spank Odds, and I keep hearing about them, so clearly they aren't gone. So what the fuck is going on here, right? Anyways, I remember they apparently got regulated by someone down in the island of Man or something, wherever the fuck they are. Some bullshit regulation, by the way. It wasn't AGCO. Bullshit regulation offshore. And they started asking for proof of funds and proof of income and shit like that. Like, they wanted pay stubs. No, that's when you cross the line. I'm here to bet and get, especially if you're an offshore entity. Are you kidding me? I'm not sending you that shit. No, that's crazy. Give me my money back and you're done. I'm not playing with you. As simple as that.
Yeah.
So ID, KYC, okay, standard across the board. When they start getting into that banking shit, that's where I say no. I will take my business elsewhere, and there's a lot of places that, shout out to Bodog. Again, they will kick you out after a while. They will limit you after a while, but no KYC at all. You can get in and out of there with crypto without any questions asked. I like that.
I mean, I'm a newbie I'm a newbie in this new world order that goes on with this stuff. But I mean, I'd much rather, KYC me when I open the account. I'd rather do that.
You could do that though. You could take initiative and send it to them right out of the gate.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know that. That's okay. Well, any other accounts because when the Godfather starts to sniff that things no bueno, like TonyBet, I want out.
Yeah, no shit.
And I want those funds. I want to allocate them somewhere that's letting me play. There's lots of places letting me play. Shout out, Bet99, Bulldog.
Yeah, you've had some success at Bet99, and some of the shit that's come. Yeah, I've seen you play some things at Bodog too that you've had no problems with.
But
right?
What I like about Bodog, and what I think all sportsbooks should try to adhere to, is just consistency. If I'm trying to play some obscure soccer market, W48, I know already. Is it less than second division? I already know. Right? It's consistent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right? I get what you're saying. But
other stuff, no problem.
I still don't.
W300. Major markets?
These are major sports books though. How the fuck are they offering W48? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay, so everyone's like, oh, you're into sports gambling and shit like that. Yeah, you can't bet anywhere. A lot of places won't take your fucking bets.
You can't get down.
But that being said, there are places out there that are giving everyone a fair shot. Okay, we're going to get to them obviously in future episodes, but you just mentioned a couple of them. Bet99 and Bodog, you can work with. TonyBet, you can't work. TonyBet is the worst so far. They got they're on the podium, gold medal.
So far, yeah, because
gold is TonyBet, silver is Play Falls View, and
is Uni. I think that's
Unibet. We haven't got to them yet. They're next episode. I think
next week. They're the bronze.
Now, if you do follow the sports betting markets intensely like we do, there are Canby books, right? So Unibet, Play Falls View, and who's the other one I just mentioned?
Tony.
Tony's not a Canby book.
Oh, okay.
Who's the other one we just shit on? It was Bet Victor last game. Okay, Anyways, Bet Rivers is another Canby book. Unibet and North Star, which we haven't been there yet. They're next. But I mean, the thing is, like, they have useful odds, right? If we could freely play at these places, it would be good. But the problem is, bam, the shackles come on right away. It's insane.
I've found the odds to be neither here nor there. There's some sports sometimes you can get a nickel ahead of the game, and there's other plays that you're a nickel behind the game already right from the word go. But I don't mind so much that. But like, if you're gonna tell me that a $100 bet can only be a $48 bet, a $24 bet, can only risk $7. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this.
No, it's fucking garbage. Okay, so here's a question for you, Godfather. What was the max you were able to get down at Tony? Like, what was it out of the gate at TonyBet? Decent? $500?
Out of the gate on a major market, yeah, I could have gotten 500. And standard, I was, I'm not large better, W200. So I'm betting 220, 230 on a minus 115. I mean, give me that.
Yeah. No, they slapped them on
6 and 1. I didn't take you 10 and 2. I didn't do that. Do that.
It's ridiculous. So that I scratch my head and wonder, like, who's playing at these places? How are they staying alive? You got to be like an insane parlay better or something like that.
You know what I see a lot of?
Because what
booster bets? All these booster. People.
Yeah, everyone's doing that these days. But how in God's name could someone go and sign up at TonyBet before signing up at Bet99 or DraftKings or BetMGM or Caesars?
Through this podcast, maybe the people that listen to us,
it's insane. It's insane. I don't know who's their target market. I don't know who's
are going to be able to make educated, informed decisions on where they go. But take it from me: 7, 6, and 1. No props at TonyBet. I couldn't find them. No, they didn't keep me there long enough. I stopped looking. What am I looking for if I'm getting W24 all the time? Right? I'm not even gonna look.
And props is the first thing that jumps on people. So people freak out at props.
Hello, right? So you've insulated yourself from the types of players in action that you don't want to take. You don't even offer props. Okay, I don't do my props there. I go somewhere else for props. But if I'm trying to play a soccer game, trying to play a fucking basketball game from fucking Europe. How you give me $24?
I mean, all the words that you're saying right now, sportsbooks don't like to hear for the most part. But
I don't care. I'm here to tell the truth and nothing but.
Listen, if you're offering it, fucking book it. If you don't want to book it, don't offer it. Simple as that. All right, that's been what I've been saying the entire time. Yeah. Anyways, we'll leave it there.
One last point.
Okay. Shoot.
Or put in a little tool that is very useful, like Bodog has. Put in a little button that is in red that says max. You click on it, and boom, W24 shows up. I say, okay, vaffanculo. I move on to the next one, right? Not that I put in $200, I put in $100. It spins for what seems like a half an hour, and then, sorry, $12. What? If I had known $12 from the word go, I'm not wasting my time.
Well, garbage. So, well, good on you.
Garbage.
Good on you for realizing it as quick as you have. And it's never good to leave dead money somewhere. So get that shit paid out and you move on.
Yes.
There's a lot of other books here in Ontario that you can take a crack at, and fuck that.
I wanted to give it a shot. TonyBet, my father Antonio, God rest his soul. I said maybe it's good. No, very bad. Very bad.
No good. No
bueno.
But hey, this is our, what I like to think is our new educational component of this podcast.
Yeah.
Is we're going in there, we're trying it out, and we're telling you guys exactly how it is in our experience.
Yeah.
And we're not going in there slamming down 5 times a game. That's not what we're doing, right? I said it last episode. We're nickel and dime guys. We're going in. We're seeing what they offer. Play with their props a little bit. Play with some of their soccer. Play with a lot of their NFL and college. Like it's not crazy fucking disgusting action that you're kind of asking for the axe. It's not that. So
no. I'm Joe Q Public. No, nothing like that. There was no way that after probably 10 of those 14 bets in the first week,
that's when they started fucking with you,
and then it started going down.
Yeah,
started going down. So I was there 2 weeks, but really only 1 week of any kind of action.
So they haven't changed at all, because that's exactly how I remember them being when they were in the gray market before legalization or regulation here in Ontario. Anyways, so don't play at TonyBet. They suck. Next.
First place on the podium.
Yes. Next up, Godfather, I want to talk about hedging. So here we are. We just talked about middling. Now I want to talk a little bit about hedging. I had a buddy reach out who's going to remain anonymous, because I am not here to shame anyone or question people's ideas or thought process when they're making bets. That's not what I'm here to do. But he reached out to me prior to NFL Sunday and he sent me a screenshot that was fucking beautiful. And he said, Pisky, I got myself in this situation. It was, I don't know how many legs it was, maybe 6, 7 team parlay that was going to pay $33,000. And there was 1 pick left.
Oh, Jesu Christ. Okay.
And that pick was the team that the Godfather wanted to take in Survivor last week. The Las Vegas Raiders. So he reached out to me because he knows that I have outs and connections in the sports betting industry, and said, Pisk, if I need to hedge some of this, would you be able to help me out? And I said, of course. He's a good buddy of mine. I'm obviously not going to do this for strangers, but any of my friends that need to do something like this, absolutely, I can help with some of the liquidity that I have. So I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy, just let me know. And then I think it was around 12:30 on Sunday, I got a message back from him finally, which is crunch time. So don't try to message me at 12:30. If you need something like this done, it's got to be 9 a.m., right? Because 11:30, no, it's too much. So he reached out and said, it's all good. I'm fucking ride or die, baby. Justin Fields is out. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay. You know what I mean? I read it like after the games had gone off the board and stuff like that. Obviously, we saw how the Bears started and the Raiders started. It was ugly right out of the gate. Like, I don't think the Raiders were in it at all, right?
Never.
Now, 2 things here. First of all, the Pisky way of doing things. Like you guys know, I am an arbitrage person, and I am a hedger. I am a middler. So I would get off that bet hardcore. I am not gambling whatsoever, but that's me. Now, does that hurt me in the long run? When you talk to a professional like we had on here just before we took our big break, Antonino De Rosa, right? The cream of the crop. These guys are the best of the best. He told me, Pisk, if you need it to help you sleep at night, keep doing what you're doing. Middling, arbitrage, hedging. Which I do. I need that. He goes, but theoretically, in the long run, if you just ride shit out, I'm not talking about parlays in this situation, but ride shit out, not playing the strong side of games and whatnot, you're probably leaving money on the table. Which is fine if you need it for peace of mind. And I do need it for peace of mind, so that's why I do it. So, this individual did not end up hedging. and the Raiders did not end up winning. So $33,000 down the fucking drain. That sucks. That sucks. I never like to laugh at anyone's misfortunes. That sucks. If it was me, you're damn right. Maybe I would leave myself long on whatever side I liked a little bit, maybe a grand here or there or something, but I would guarantee myself 5 figures on that. 100%. Especially the facts. So here's another little tip for you guys. I'm in a confidence pool right now, confidence NFL pool. So basically, every week it's a pick 'em pool. You got to pick all your selections, and then you start from 16 down, 16, 15, 14 points. You allot to wherever you're most confident, right? That's how confidence pools work. So what I do with this, and it's fucking so very simple. I basically just see what the numbers in the pool are using, because obviously they're static odds there, right? They don't move. So I look at the pool's odds and I compare them to Pinnacle. That's all I do. And the biggest discrepancies is my biggest confidence. So there you go. If someone's watching this, and my name is Always Betting Podcast too on fucking in the pool. But anyways, it takes, again, supreme discipline and no emotion. Perfect. I fit into that category. A lot of people get cute and say, "Oh, this isn't working for 1 week. Let me use my opinion," and that's how they get screwed. But anyways. The biggest move on the board, so my most confident pick in that week, which was last weekend, was the Chicago Bears. So again, it doesn't always work out that the most confident ones win, but the Bears were the biggest mover from, like, basically open line.
Yeah.
So there was an indication that doo-doo was going to happen, is what I'm saying. And again, I didn't get to the message. We're swamped right before game time on Sunday, so if you're hitting me up then, you don't stand a chance. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But I'm a middler. What do you want me to say? I'm a hedger. There was another one that came across my screen, Godfather. It was Rob Bazzola, friend of the show, friend of Familia, Circles Off podcast. Great podcast. Very educational if you guys need to add another one to your rotation. That one's a good one. Yeah, Rob's solid. Rob posted something, and I can't find it, so I don't have the actual details, but it came across my screen, and what it was taking advantage of the no sweat bet at DraftKings. So DraftKings has this promotion right now that they will give you a no sweat bet up to $5,000. So if you make
that?
They're still doing it. They keep extending it and extending and extended. I want to get more people involved. You have to find the time, and there's some, money movement that has to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not for everybody, but I'm surprised they're still doing it.
It's not chump change either. Like 5Gs, it's kind of difficult to move when you're dealing with Interact transfers and shit like that. Anyways, Rob posted a picture, or he commented I don't know. It was out there. And the same kind of scenario. That whoever the picture was used the $5K no sweat bet. So they must have lost their first bet, which you can do with a hedge, and it's not that big of a deal. And then you get that $5K no sweat bet, and they put it on like a 14 parlay. And the parlay paid $60,000. And their only pick that didn't win was the Green Bay Packers. So I don't know if there was a hedge situation in there, but again, if it's Pisky, fucking Mr., dip my feet into water and I'm nervous, I would definitely take that. I would definitely hedge it. Right? I ain't staying long on that. That's crazy. That's gambling. I don't like to gamble.
And this takes us way back to our OLG Pools product. I mean, when you're sitting on a substantial number like that, and you've only got the Monday nighter left, you have to take into consideration, you got to set yourself up in a way that you're going to make something.
Yeah, but Godfather, you can't play that with the pools because we had that information. You and I, we knew what they were playing for. If you're a customer that bought a fucking ticket at the 7-Eleven, it's a dick move. You know what? I actually, throughout our tenure at the old, or my tenure, 13 years, a lot of my hockey buddies obviously knew that I worked there and had access to this information. So every now and then I would get a message saying, "Hey, I'm in the running. Do you have any idea? Do you have a ballpark?" And, confidentiality, I would keep it to myself. But, I would tell them, if it was significant, if it was something like really, like there's been pools won of 750 grand, right? But you got to go doggy style. You got to pick underdogs. So every time my buddies would reach out to me, they're favorite guys. So the pot was like $350 at that point. Fucking let it ride, right?
Let it ride.
But if you're talking about potentially life-changing money, you got to hedge that. But the general public didn't have that information. Do you think the OLG should publish that? They never would. I know their style.
Questions about the OLG. Let's go.
You know what though? I'm not going to mention the name, but I know some guys that still play the pools quite heavily, and they are still having. Yeah. It's fair. They are still having trouble getting down, Godfather. They still have to do the store-to-store shit.
Really?
Because the OLG will only let them bet. I think it's $500 a store or something like that, which is better than the hundo that fucking yours truly had to deal with. Mm-hmm. But $500 a store on pools. There's no risk. Zero risk. Zero risk. It is pure profit for the Lottery Corporation. Why in God's name are you holding people back? Why? That is so stupid. That is so stupid. I'm sorry. I know I can feel you getting uncomfortable, Godfather, but I'm right.
Next topic. Let's go.
Last hedge that I want to talk about.
Another one?
There's one more. Yes, I signed up to FanDuel. FanDuel has the same promotion as DraftKings, except instead of $5,000, it's $1,000. They will match your bet up to $1,000 if you lose. It's called a no sweat bet, which is fantastic. You got to take advantage of that. Why not? And I think there's a one-time rollover, which is nothing, right? You just got to play through it. Easy peasy. Yeah, compared to the offshore junkies, 10x, 25x, whatever. Anyways, I sent $2,000. I think I sent $2,000 there to be able to do the full shot. And what I did, I'm going to tell everyone, so maybe there's someone out there that can do the same type of thing. Game 7, Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. I played the Diamondbacks for a dime at FanDuel, plus 148. So 1,000 to win 1,480. I got off on the Phillies at another book, and I think I laid 157. So basically, the Godfather went back and forth. I remember fucking sending him a text and saying, "You think the Phillies are a lock tonight?" And he says, "Don't you dare use that word. There's no such thing as a lock."
No such thing.
So I listened, and he reminded me said, "Pisky, you're not a gambler. You like to guarantee yourself something." So I'm like, "You are right. You are right, Godfather." So what I did is I basically bet in a way to guarantee myself $500 if the Phillies would win the game and go to the World Series, or $695, I think it was, if the Diamondbacks won the game. Diamondbacks won the game. Yeah. Fucking one for the good guys. $695 to the house. So these things are possible with these promos, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So take a look at them, play around with hedging, and there's money to be made there. But pretty simple, no?
Understand the terms and conditions, please, people. You don't want to go through what I went through.
Yeah, well, that's Bet Victor. If you're wondering what he means by that, go watch our last episode. Go listen to our last episode, and you'll see the bonus there is pretty messed up. So be careful with it.
Yeah.
Okay, done. We did some middling. We did some hedging. Okay. There's been some breaking news this week in the sports betting industry for, I guess, the wrong reasons. And I guess it's not even really the sports betting industry, Godfather. It is the professional sports industry. 2 guys got popped for betting when they weren't supposed to. I think it was Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators, got 41 games from the NHL. They're clearly making an example of him, right?
Yeah.
How many games did Ridley get last year? Was it the full season? I think it was, wasn't it?
Full season, yes.
Full season, yeah. So Pinto got 41 games for betting, and some fucking rogue Italian dude that plays for Newcastle got the same thing out in the UK.
Tonali. And there's also another player that plays for Juve.
These fucking Italians.
Nicola Fagioli. He got a 6-month ban.
Who does he play for?
For Juve.
Oh, look at this.
Got nothing to do with the team.
What are you talking about?
Don't start.
What are you talking about?
The societal problem. Everybody just be recreational and we can all get along.
Do you know how much I dug to see if Pinto was Italian?
He's not.
Because I saw something there. He's not.
You're such an asshole. Okay, but you know what I found funny about that?
What? I'm sweating in this phone booth again, by the way. Go ahead.
The picture that they had of Shane Pinto,
yeah,
when they made the announcement, look at his helmet. He's got a Bet 99.
Yes,
like come on.
I made a post about that on Instagram today.
Yes. So there you have it.
So isn't that a little ironic? Now, here's the thing, right? This has happened with NFL guys before. We just said it, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Multitude of other guys.
These places, you gotta know that these places are sophisticated, right? When you're signing up to the DraftKings and the FanDuels, I've said it on so many previous episodes. You know, The Godfather and I have both screamed about it. Your IP address, your MAC address on your device, like these things matter. These things matter, and especially, I don't know where Shane Pinto was playing, but I mean, I think FanDuel is like a serious partner of the NHL. I think a lot of these sportsbooks are partners with the leagues now. So if they see your fucking name, you better believe Gary Bettman's going to get a little fucking email.
You're going to go down without question.
Right? So don't think that it's just a quick bet here, a quick bet there. If you're doing it that way, you got to go black market. Now, I don't recommend that, especially if you're a professional athlete. You got to be out of your fucking mind to do something like that. But text a buddy. Send a text. If you want to make a bet on a fucking NFL game, send a buddy a text. And get them to put it in for you. And you know, he owes you some beers, or he owes you fucking cash at a later date. Don't sign up yourself. And I don't have the details on what either of these two did, but know that these sites are sophisticated, and know that gambling and these professional sports leagues, there's still like a lot of sensitivity there. So they're not going to put up with it. Yeah, right? So because it makes them look terrible. It makes them look fucking terrible if some of their players are fucking the referee shit that went on Donaghy with the NBA years ago. Oh my god, it fucks with the entire integrity of the sport, and that, you know what I mean. And these are big money making operations. So Godfather, you know from your days of organized crime, what happens when you fuck around with big money operations?
Be careful, my friends. That's all I'm going to say. But,
anyways, wild. Do you think 41 games is too much?
Well, you know what? Without having the intrinsic details of exactly what he was doing, it's hard to comment. But I mean, I will agree with your point that they're clearly trying to make an example of him, because 41 games is half the season, and it's going to be unpaid. And in today's world, that's a considerable amount of money.
For those guys, sure.
So don't do it. And I think one of the common things that comes out when these athletes get caught is they all the time, there's a line that, they did not bet on their team and on any of the team's games. It doesn't matter, man. You're part of the product of the bet. You can't bet. End of story.
Yeah. If it's no betting, there's no betting. As simple as that.
It's simple.
Don't try to circumvent, and don't just say, I'm going to cover up my IP address with a VPN or something like that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And the same goes for account sharing. If you're sharing with a buddy, they're going to know. They're going to know. You got to be more careful. Take it a step further. Be more discreet. You can't just flop around with accounts like, hey, log in here, log in there. Oh, I got limited. I got limited at TonyBet. Okay, Godfather, sign up Nadia's name. Sign up your wife's name. No, it doesn't work like that. They're going to see the address. They're going to see the last name. They're going to see the IP address. And you got kicked out after, what was it, 12 bets?
14 bets.
14 bets. Well, if Nadia goes in next week, she's getting 3 out of them. Not even, probably. Then you think the process of the KYC is bad now. If they caught your wife going in next, oh, Jesu Cristo. Blood sample. They'd want a blood sample.
Enough of that, that's for sure. But it's definitely listen up to what Pisky's saying. Don't take these don't think you're ahead of the game. You're not ahead of no game.
You're not dealing with these rogue fucking sportsbook where the internet was just born. You're dealing with sophisticated operations that purposely look for this stuff. That's
back
what
in
they
those
do.
days, maybe.
I mean,
now,
yes.
not even.
Back in those days. Back in those days, Godfather, could you imagine? Like, everything you've learned, you know, just being in the space, doing it on this side of the counter with the full dog and I over the last couple of years. Could you imagine having the knowledge that you have now? And especially, I know you're still new to this middling and arbitrage shit, but could you imagine if you understood middling and stuff back in the 80s on St. Clair? what you could do? Honestly. Honestly, you'd be able to pick up pre-game 4-point middles in the NBA. Key number middles in the NFL. It would be bananas. And that's why you hear these stories of people taking a bicycle and driving up and down the Las Vegas Strip to, play the casinos against one another and, making millions of dollars. I believe it. I fucking believe it because they were ahead of their time. And you know what I mean? If I knew what I knew today, when I started working at BetUS in 2003, oh my goodness. I'd have maybe 5 acres to compare to your 10 acres up in North Toronto.
Again with this 10 acres. Come on, man.
46 minutes in, Godfather. We're on a roll tonight. I feel like I'm talking too much though. You got to step up, and I can see your eyes getting a little heavy. How many espressos do you have today?
Not enough.
Usually you're more fire. Yeah, usually you're more fire. And if you guys noticed, I made the Godfather go out and get the equal earbuds that I have because I didn't like. If you guys have been following us here, I didn't like the headset. Well, just because of where it came from. First of all, anyway,
the problem with the headset, listeners, was it could not deal with my audio
high pitched voice.
It couldn't. My decibel dB level was too high for them. They would cut out. So you missed a lot of really juicy nuggets of me yelling at this guy because I would cut out. The censors probably enjoyed that and probably would like to see me put them back on. But I went and got these snazzy ones, just like
you sound good though, G. You sound really good. Yeah, good stuff.
Good. I could use an espresso. So let's go.
Nice. Okay, next thing. I want to give a shout out to the bar is called Local. It's in Liberty Village in downtown Toronto. I was there last night. If you're not following me on Instagram, I really highly suggest that you do. It's not so much that I post, it's my stories. I like making the stories, and you can follow our journey, and I like to break the Godfather's balls, and it's phenomenal. I was there last night. Godfather, you're going to be so happy to hear this, and I know you already liked my post, but I'm going to tell it to you again. So I walk in there, and I sit down, and I keep hearing these rumors that this local place is a Buffalo Bills backers bar. So they're a Bills bar now. So every Bills game, they're going to play in sound. All the staff has the jerseys and everything. It's phenomenal. Anyways, I went last night, Thursday Night Football. I walk in there. Sure enough, they're playing the sound with a football game. And there was a Maple Leafs game on. The Maple Leafs played in Dallas last night. Anywhere else in this fucking province, maybe aside from Ottawa, but anywhere else in this goddamn city is Leafs, rah, 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 Leafs. Loser since 1967. Not this place. This place was showing the Bills game on 4 screens. They were showing the Leafs game on 2 screens. So right away, you're a friend of mine. You're doing shit like that, you're a friend of mine. But the fact they were playing sound, and it was football, that's over the Leafs game. Mwah. At halftime, they put the Buffalo song on. Hey. They give away a jersey, and then they give away a jersey at the end of the third quarter as well. So they get 2 jersey giveaways. They have drink specials, and they have this guy that sits in the corner of the bar by himself with his headphones on, making posts and doing live events on TikTok. Maybe you recognize him before. Maybe he's on this podcast that you're watching right here, right now. That's what I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. The bartenders must think I'm such a weirdo because it looks like I'm talking to myself. But it's it's a good time.
We got to bring the Perrys then, if this is such a Buffalo place, right?
Yes, the Perrys are big Buffalo Bill guys. Tell them that. Yeah, let's go down. You got to get there early though. Last night I actually lucked out. The only reason I was able to get in, they were 2 capacity. The only reason I was able to get in was because I was solo mission. Like, there's one seat at the corner of the bar, and it was literally the seat that I had the week before. Yeah, the sign of the cross, but they do a good job with it. They really do. And so that deserves a shout out because there's not a lot of places in Toronto that do football right.
Yeah.
Maybe Real Sports. I don't know. It's a little too touristy for me. But this place does it right. So I like to support them. So shout out to Local and Liberty Village.
For them to drown out the Leaf game, that's a serious football place.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. 100%. So we're too busy at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, so you'll never bump into me then at that time. That's crazy. But I'm curious to know if they do the same type of thing on Sundays. 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, late game. I'm sure they do it for the late game. I don't know about during the day. But yeah, a lot of good fucking vibes there, a lot of good football fans, and I actually had someone come up to me last night when I was doing my live. I think they were watching it from home. It was one of our followers, and Licho? I think his name is Licho. Anyways, he came up and gave me a fucking pat on the back. What's going on, Pisky? So, shout out to him. It's pretty wild when shit like that happens. But, like, as you can see, I'm not really much, nothing special. I'm literally sitting at the corner of the bar talking to myself, or I guess talking to the screen. But, yeah, it was pretty cool to meet him.
Nice. We'll have to go.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. The last thing that we got to talk about that we do every episode, Godfather, I hope you prepared this week, because last week you weren't prepared, and to be fair, neither was I. I didn't know who the Seahawks were playing, but we made it. We made it through.
I wasn't even sure that we had that bullet. Anyway, okay, I'm prepared.
We made it through. We survived. I had the Seahawks in the bingo picks of the Circa Millions as well. That worked out. So that went 3-2, by the way, if anyone's been following. I think I'm 3 back of the quarter prize right now. Someone went 14-1 over 3 weeks. I have 4 losses. So I'm 3 back. I need to go 5-0, 4-1, or something like that to be able to cash.
Yeah, okay.
Unlikely, but you never know. I'm legit picking these fucking things out of a bingo machine. So it could get hot. Let's hope and pray, because it would make a pretty funny story. What do you see, Godfather? I think we have 2 options this week. I see 2 primetime games as well. Yes. The Chargers are at home on Sunday night to the Chicago Bears, who there was some doo-doo there last week, right? Our fucking poor parlay buddy. And the Monday nighter, Detroit at home against the fucking team that gave my fucking buddy kidney stones. The Raiders. So what are we going to do?
Well, I initially liked the Chargers, but
I don't trust the Chargers. We're not going to I don't like their play calling. I don't like that it seems like they never cover. I don't like that I don't like their defense. I don't trust them at all. So, yes, you originally said the Chargers, and I said, I don't like you. I'm worried about the Chargers.
Well, there's no need to be worried if we have another shot. Now, I didn't like Seattle, but we were handcuffed.
Yeah. Thankfully it worked out. I don't like those division games. I'm not a big division game.
Division
they
games
suck.
They're difficult. So let's go non-division. Let's go with a team that got spanked last week. And they are at home, prime time, Monday night versus a team without a quarterback. Let's go with Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions, locked and loaded. Good. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that. It took you a couple days, actually. But you're on board? Is Garoppolo going?
No.
Jimmy G? He's not going? 100%? So who's the starter there? Is it that rookie dude or is it Hoyer? Is it Hoyer?
Hoyer or the rookie dude. Either way, we good. I hope.
I hope, yeah. So we're going to let you guys in on a little secret right now. The Godfather and I, doing what we do, hashtag always betting, we are going on a business trip. Okay? It's going to take place sometime this weekend, maybe early next weekend. We're going on a business trip, and I want you guys, and you guys are coming along with us. Okay? So
I didn't sign up for this.
What?
Okay, go.
What you got to do is you got to follow at Pisky Positivo on Instagram. Right? I was touting it before. I'm going to tout it again. Follow me on Instagram because I love doing the stories. They're easy. You can take pictures. You put music on it. It's a great experience, adventure. But that's what you got to do. So when you finish watching us here on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, or wherever the hell else you're listening to us, you got to go and follow at Pisky Positivo on Instagram, and you will be able to come on our business trip with us. Godfather, are you excited for this business trip? I know business is business. Sometimes it's stressful. Are you excited? Are you excited to get out of the GTA a little bit and go on this trip, business trip?
Yeah, it'll be all right. We'll see if you make me regret it. In the
excited or nervous? Excited or nervous?
Always nervous when I have to do anything with you.
Check it out, everyone. Make sure you hit that follow button on Instagram. You guys are going to love it. Trust me.
I'm going to need to buy insurance again, ain't I?
It's good. Did you get that briefcase for me? We're going to need it for photo ops. Because we're going on a business trip. Did Jay Perry have the briefcase, yes or no?
I'm working on it. Negative at the moment.
Negative.
I'm working on it.
Okay. And speaking of, I know you went over to the Perrys last night to watch the football game. What the hell happened with that Cotton Eye Joe guy? Was that a fucking bad beat or what?
That was a pretty bad beat because the Bills, the Bill fans there were quite agitated that the Bills didn't put them away. And I kept on saying, you got nothing to worry about. And they kept on, Jay especially was quite adamant and incensed that why put yourself in that position. But did you take a look at that Hail Mary closely, the replay?
Oh my Godwin! If you would have turned around a split second earlier, it's game over. Yeah.
Half a second earlier, it is game over.
Yeah. So I don't know why he was doing what he did either. Like the whole point of what I mean? It's like he was just going through the motions. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's not. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, it's like in his hands.
I saw a lot of people saying that. I read one article today that the NFL refs throw pass interference out the window when it comes to Hail Marys because it did look like 2 or 3 guys were totally being interfered with.
I was expecting the laundry to come out. I really was.
And can you imagine? Can you imagine? It comes down to a non-clocked play at the 1 yard line, and listen, I would have had to have walked home last night because nobody would have been able to, operate a motor vehicle with the rage that was happening and that. At that moment, but
dude, that's life as a Buffalo Bills fan, though. I'm kind of shocked that it didn't happen to them because that is like normal for them.
Yeah,
stupid shit like that all the time. So, but yeah, that sucked. Let's go Detroit. Yes, absolutely. That's it. Godfather, we're at the finish line. I have nothing left.
Covered everything
here on my we covered everything except. Do you want me to tell my WeWork story? Do I have time? We have like a minute left.
I think so. You know why? Because if you park this WeWork story and I got to hear it on another episode, no, it's not a big deal.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal.
Traumatized by it.
I am. This is okay. I'm at WeWork, right? They have big washrooms, but they also have solo washrooms, like single individual washrooms, right?
Yeah.
Single individual washroom. There is a big fucking duty to do for the dutier. For the person that's using this thing, the bathroom, your duty is to lock that fucking door. Well, the person at WeWork did not fulfill the duty necessary.
That huge stall that
Yes!
is fucking huge.
It's not a stall. It's not a stall. It's an individual. It's like the handicap bathroom at the old gym. Remember the handicap? Yeah. So it's individual and no lucky. So I go to take a fucking leak. I open this thing and there's this dude dropping a fucking deuce in front of me. And my eyeballs almost pop out. His eyeballs almost pop out. And then he starts like charging to the door, pants around ankles, TP in hand. I'm sorry. and I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And like, fuck. So then I go up 4 floors to go to the public washrooms that are like, you know, individual stalls and shit like that. Like, holy fuck, what are you doing? You ruined my day. It's brutal. So then the next day happens. Okay, so I obviously
here. I got a question. Why didn't you just use the urinal? Why are you going in the fucking toilet?
No, it's all one. It's all one. There is no urinal. It's a toilet. It's a bathroom.
It wasn't the big bathroom you went to. It was that single one in the hallway.
It's a bathroom. It's just a bathroom. You open up. There's a sink in there. There's a toilet. Yeah. It's a bath. It's like a handicap bathroom.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and that's what it was. So it gets worse though, because that was traumatizing enough. Obviously, I blew it up a little bit. That's what I do. But the next day, I'm at the fucking coffee machine, and I feel these fucking eyes on me. These fucking eyes. Yes.
No.
So I turn around, and sure enough, it's Buddy, and he gives me the like, hey, what's up? What's up, Pisky, buddy? And I'm like, no. No, we are not buddies. We are not friends. We are not acquaintances. We are strangers. No.
No, any man that you have relations with in the bathroom, you're tight.
Dude, I walk in on you dropping a deuce. We stop the podcast, 6-month break, minimum. Minimum. I don't want to see that shit. So this guy thinks we're like, yeah, we're just tight now. No. Strangers. No eye contact. We've made enough eye contact to last us for the next 3 years. Brutal.
You can't go to that location anymore, man. You can't go to that location anymore.
I'm at a new location today, actually. I needed a breather from this fucking trauma bond. That's what I'm calling it, a trauma bond. But no, there's no bond. Separate. There's strangers. No bond.
Unfortunate circumstance. That's all we have. That's all we shared. Unfortunate circumstance.
And I hate to end this episode with that, but that's how we're going to wrap things up. So, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget, go follow at Pisky Positivo on Instagram so you can watch The Godfather and I's business trip. Serious. I know I goof around a lot on social media, but this is serious. This is a business trip. Follow along, and on behalf of myself and The Godfather, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Ciao.